Okay. In problem 8, we have Norman Limited. This company has issued 80,000 equity shares, and the shares were underwritten as follows. Now, this is how much each underwriter agreed to take: 48, 20, 12,000. Fine. So, this will be their gross liability. This is what was agreed to be taken. Now break down that gross liability into a proper ratio, and let's see how much that we get. This is solution 8, gross liability ratio. Right? So how much have they agreed to take? There is A, B and C. A is saying he will take 48,000. B says 20,000 and C says he will take 12,000, right? So instantly, if you get rid of the zeros, you have these numbers that you need to reduce to a particular decimal. So we have, if you reduce it by 4, okay, divide all by 4. 4 3s are 12, 4 5 20, and 4 into 12 gives you 48. Right? So 12 is to 5 is to 3 becomes your gross liability ratio. Try to reduce this as much as possible. Like 12 and 5 and 3 are not again cannot again be divided by the same number, right? So far 12 is to 5 is to 3 will be the gross liability ratio. So always calculate and keep it there so that all your other calculations from now on are simplified. If you want to calculate unmarked applications, you can quickly do it in the gross liability ratio. Okay. They also made applications for firm underwriting. 6,400, 8,000, 2,400. This was the firm underwriting. We'll see what happens to the firm underwriting later, whether credit is given and not given. Okay. Then, in this sentence, read here, underwriting contracts provide that underwriters be given credit for firm applications. This is the first problem that we have come across where it says give credit for firm applications. All this while we have seen credit not to be given. Like for example over here, benefit of firm underwriting not given. That's why we used to add firm underwriting to unmarked applications, right? Even here, benefit of firm underwriting not given. So let's see what is to be done, what will be the calculation when benefit is given. Credit and benefit is one and the same, right? So underwriters be given credit for firm applications. We'll come to that a little later. Then, total applications received, excluding firm underwriting but including marked, were 4 rupees for 40,000 equity shares. Okay, that is a slight error here. This is 40,000 equity shares. Okay, so they received total applications of 40,000. Out of that, marked applications were 8, 10, 4. So directly minus mark. These two steps are very simple. Ready-made information 8, 10, 4,000. Get the balances. You have 40, 10 and 8,000. Okay, and then we need to calculate what will be the unmarked calculations. So let's see, total we received 40 and of those unmarked were these many. Let's calculate our unmarked applications. Working note 2, this one was working note 1. For unmarked applications. This calculation will be slightly different now. So we always start with total applications received but excluding firm underwriting, always excluding. Okay, basically you take only total applications which you directly received from the public, meaning which people have applied for. Don't take the firm underwriting which underwriters are going to take. Okay, so total applications received were 40,000. Out of this, they are saying there were some marked applications. So let's do the sorting now. Marked applications, how many? 8, 10, 4. 8,000 plus 10,000 plus 4,000. Right? So how much does that give you? Total marked applications of 22,000. Am I right? So if you remove the marked applications, you are left with 18,000 unmarked applications. Now, pay very good attention to this. When benefit of firm underwriting is not given, what do we do? Like in this previous problem, we get this 72,000, for example, is what we get after minusing marked applications from the total applications, right? So because benefit of firm underwriting was not given, we added firm underwriting to the unmarked applications. Correct? This is an extra step we did, and then we got the total unmarked applications which we distributed in the gross liability ratio. But in this case, in this new problem here, since unmarked or firm underwriting benefit is given, we are not going to add firm underwriting to unmarked applications. I have given you the rules here when I taught firm underwriting to you. See, here, when benefit of firm underwriting is given, second scenario, two individual underwriters, do not add firm underwriting applications to unmarked applications. So this step don't do. Over here, further, don't add any firm underwriting to unmarked. Is that clear to you? This next step we will come at. Before that, let's calculate. So once you have got these unmarked applications, distribute them in the gross liability ratio. Okay, so what is the gross liability ratio? 12 is to 5 is to 3. So you have A, B and C. How much is to be distributed? 18,000 will be distributed among all. And what is the ratio? First fellow is 12. Out of how much? 12 plus 5 plus 3 gives you 20. Multiplied by 5 by 20 multiplied by 3 by 20. Is this clear? So it gives 10,800, 4,500 and 2,700 when you distribute all three to the underwriters. So distribute, put it as unmarked applications directly. Unmarked applications will be, we said 10,800, 4,500 and 2,700. Is this clear? So these are our unmarked applications. Is that fine? Now, the difference that we get over here, I'll just add another line to it perhaps. Okay, we're going to get a difference over here, but this difference is not going to be the resultant liability yet. Okay, now what does this mean? When firm underwriting benefit is given, we have to do this next step. What does it say? If benefit is given, deduct firm underwriting applications from individual underwriters' liability. This new step we have to do. We did add firm underwriting to unmarked applications, am I right? But we need to separately deduct each person's firm underwriting from their liability. So let's see, first let's get the balances out. After minusing, this is 29,200, this is 5,500, and finally you have 5,300. Okay, next. So you have a certain balance, you minus marked, you minus unmarked, and now you also, this is an additional step when benefit is given. Okay, so less firm underwriting. How much? It will be given directly in the problem, right? Firm underwriting was 648 and 24,000. Okay, 2,400. So minus this 6,400 minus 8,000 minus 2,400. Clear to you? So you have done nothing but separately, individually, you have deducted the firm underwriting applications of each of the underwriters. Is this clear? Now, what we have to do is, first of all, remember the difference between when benefit is given, not given. So when benefit is not given, we just added everything to unmarked, right? And we put it together and then we deducted unmarked applications from each one. In this case, we are minusing firm underwriting separately. Is that fine? Let's get the balance here. The rest is just additions, subtractions, very simple beyond this. Now here you will get a negative because firm underwriting applications are more. So 2,500 surplus and last 500. Sorry, this is 2,900. Okay, difference between the two, 2,900. Now one person has a surplus, one has two people have liabilities. So take this surplus of B, allocation of B's surplus among, better to always specify who is getting and who is giving the surplus, in what ratio. Now A and B, they have 12:3 ratio. Followed? Because it was 12:5:3, right? The middle one is gone. So now you are left with 12:3. Correct? So in other words, it is 4:1. You can further reduce it. 3 ones are 3, 3 fours are 12. So it is 4:1. So 2, 5. Let's calculate. 2,500 is the surplus. If you give it to A, how much will you give? Multiplied by 12:3 is the ratio, or 4:1. So 12 divided by 15. 12 plus 3, 15. So A gets 2,000. Let's give him 2,000. That means I don't have to do further calculation. Out of 2,500, if A gets 2,000, C gets 2,500. Is that fine? So write off this 2,500 and it's nil. How much we get here? Get the balances down and see if anybody else still has a surplus, which I don't think it's there in this case. 20,800. Fine. So no further surplus is there, and this itself 20,800 and 2,400 becomes the net liability as per agreement. Fine. And to this we once more need to add firm underwriting just to get an idea of the total liability. It doesn't really make much of a difference, but we see what is the total liability of these underwriters. So same ones, firm underwriting, what do we have minused here? Add them over here, and what you get is the final total liability. 27,200, 8,000 and 4,800. Is that fine? So total liability. One best way of checking, like I have told you, is to get the difference between shares issued and share applications received. Shares issued were 80, right? Company issued 80,000 shares. From this you minus how many applications were received. Applications received were for 40,000. That means 40,000 balance were not subscribed. Okay. Now let's see if this comes to 40. Their liability, whether it comes to 40. So 27,200 plus 8,000 plus 4,800. Yes, it does come to 40. Okay. So that means the balance 40,000 which remain unsubscribed is now being taken by the underwriters. So this was a problem on a scenario when the underwriters are given benefit or they are given credit for the firm underwriting applications, right? So they are being given the credit of it. That's why we minus it individually from their liability instead of mixing it all up with the unmarked applications and then redistributing in the gross liability ratio. Is this clear to you? This problem is a simple one. It does not require any commission calculation or amounts to be received. However, you may have similar problems wherein both the statements are asked along with the journal entries.